Hello, this video is about sniping positions in the game World of Tanks. The first position that I'm going to show you is this position right here. And I want to confirm that if you've watched my previous videos, this will have new positions in it. So this first one is on Karelia, and it's going to be played in the southeast by heavy tanks. You'll notice that there's some trees you can knock down, there's some rock formations, there's this little gap over here. And if you look, I've already done damage to 2 tanks based on the damage indicators of about, well, actually I've done damage and spotting. From here, you can hit those tanks. And the reason why this is a good position is number one, you've got bushes to hide in. Number two, you've got rocks protecting you. Number three, it's hull down. Number four, your allies are further back, so you're going to get the spotting damage, and the enemy has to come out further in order to hit your allies, which means you're going to get more of their tank to shoot at. And when they think they've backed up and they're safe, you're going to be able to shoot at them and hit them. Also, you're going to be able to monitor this passageway over here and up on the hill. In case the enemy controls it, you'll be able to keep an eye on what's going on and prevent them from having complete control. So this is a really good position. The problem with it is that the gap to shoot through, this little V shape, is very, very small. And the other issue is that the tanks have to be in the right position. If you try to move around to find an amazing position, it's very difficult. There's one position to shoot through. So you're really relying on the enemy to position themselves to be in front of your gun. Okay, so now here's an interesting position. Look on the mini map. This is Studzianki. The reason why I'm showing this, look at the Sturr Emil in the A6 era. Maybe it's a Sturmpanzer Emil. This is a German tank destroyer, probably tier 7. You can hit him if he's at the top of that hill through that gap. And I didn't know that. I was just playing in this position. And I noticed, I saw him there and I fired at him, but he became unspotted before I could grab a screenshot. So this is a very interesting position. They're not aware that they're vulnerable when they go up there. And I bet you if you put your turret higher, you might get some more shots in. This is a spotting position that also works as a sniping position. You can see I did 796 spotting damage on the object 268. There's disadvantages with this position. You don't have complete spotting coverage. However, if you like to do a combination of spotting and sniping, you might enjoy this position. The other reason why is because if you get spotted, you've got a lot of protection over here. This was an interesting position. This is on Live Oaks, and look at where I am on the mini map. Over here, there is a depression. You got some bushes over here, some concrete, some wood. There's a little gap in the building. You can see here is a closer view. You can fire through this gap at tanks as they're trying to cross. The problem is you've got these concrete pieces and wood, so you have to hit a little bit high on the tank. You can't hit the lower part of the tank unless you shoot those obstacles out of the way. The good thing is you're probably not going to get spotted. You are able to be hit by artillery fire. There are bushes here in the way, so it is actually a pretty good position. You'll notice I did 1,363 damage. Okay, 1,363 damage on the E100 and the Type 5 Heavy, in addition to 737 spotting damage. This is the little gap I'm talking about. So here I moved closer. I knocked some of the objects down. The bushes are going to be right here. From here, you can go out, take your shot, reload, and repeat. And you're already safe from this position. So you might want to consider trying this position. If you look at the Object 268 and the T-62A and my other allies in the town, I believe that my position is better. And the reason why is because I don't have to hit the enemy's frontal armor. I can use AP rounds, even though I'm using APCR because I'm working on a mission MT-15 to win the Object 260. And if I win this mission, I get the tank. So if you have a lower tier tank, or if you don't want to use the higher penetrating rounds, or if you want to try and do more damage with HE rounds, you can shoot through this gap and hit those weaker side armors. Now, this is an interesting position. I've shown this position often in my previous replays. What you're going to notice is that there's a little gap between these buildings that you can shoot tanks. In this case, it's going to be a VK. I had to climb up the rock in order to be able to shoot through the gap. This is what it looks like. So you can see I have clear shots on this tank when he looks like he's in a safe position. In the past, what I had to do was I had to either wait for him to go forward to where the T26E4 icon is, or I had to wait for him to go backwards. But now I discovered that there is a gap you can shoot through, and you're probably not going to get spotted. So be aware of this position. They're no longer completely safe. You can see that the gap is very narrow. Okay, now this is an ambush position. If you look at the position on the minimap, this is for Tundra. At the start of the game, when I play the Southern team, I rush to this position. I wait for enemy tanks to come by. I almost always have objects to shoot at. In this particular case, I'm a little bit too far back. Tanks will be able to cross without me spotting them. But the reason why I'm too far back is because I have a slow tank with a long aim time, and that's why I chose the further back position. But I do a lot of ambushing here. Usually you can hit a couple tanks. It's good if you want to use AP rounds, or if you're a lower tier tank and you want to hit that side armor. Most of the tanks just keep on driving. If they get hit, you don't have to worry about them stopping. In general, only a strong armored tank like a Type 4 Heavy is going to fire back at you, or maybe a light tank might do it, but you're not going to see light tanks over here. This is an ambush position on airfield, which I've shown before. You pull up to here, you spot the tanks crossing over in the distance here. This is a shot through these bushes. I often get spotted here, but I just wanted to show you that if you notice that tanks are lining up in that spot, you can reposition to here and shoot at them. Obviously, over here on the left is another position where you can hit that tank. This is on Studzianki. The reason why I'm showing this is because I know a lot of you have not played all the positions, and I know this is an obvious one, but I wanted you to see what it's like. It's not a clear shot. They're going to be hull down, but if you set up correctly, you can definitely take shots from here, and it's good if you use high explosive rounds, or if you have a high penetrating gun, and you can do it from the east or west side. Now, if you are in Studzianki and it's very crowded, or maybe you're a lower tier tank, the reason why I'm doing this, look at where I am on the minimap, is because I have weak armor. They're going to tear me apart if I try to go up against a heavy tank. So what I wanted to show you is you actually have really good coverage, and a lot of these buildings you can knock them down. Not all of them, but there are definitely buildings that you can knock down, and when you knock those buildings down, the enemy won't even react. They're like oblivious to it happening. You fire, knock it down, fire, knock it down, and then you've got open shots on an enemy tank. So it's going to take you 3 shots to do 1 shot of damage, but it's definitely something you can do. And as they pass through these gaps over here between the buildings, you can shoot at them. You're going to probably get more shots on tanks over here than you would at tanks in the heavy tank area in the C row if it's crowded. This is, notice that there's a T110E4 on the mini-map. He showed up here. I'm not in a position that a destination position. I was on my way to battle. You'll notice that only a minute or two has elapsed, and I did 1,300 damage against that T110E4. And he was spotted. I lined up a shot through this gap, and I did that damage against him. And he had to retreat. So this is something you want to be aware of. If you're heading on the way through here, as you cross here, take one last look to see what's going on, because tanks will show up there. Now, this is the encounter on Empire Border or something like that. I just wanted to show you that there's many positions you can take up. Because I'm slow, I got here, took me 45 seconds to get here. I just wanted to show you that this is a good position to take up. this tank has a rear turret. This is me playing. So I'm not going to get gun depression if I go up the hill. So I have to stay here in the back. Lots of trees you can knock down. That's the type of position you want to play with this type of tank in this game mode with the encounter. Now this is mines. For a long time, I've been looking for a nice sniping position. And the reason this is a good position. This is what you're going to see. The problem is you're often going to have to go against that frontal armor. And I don't want to use the APCR rounds. The reason why I'm using it in this game is because I need to complete TD16 for the Object 260. So I'm using the APCR rounds. It's got to do 8,000 damage. I only have to do one more mission and I get that Object 260, which is why I'm using APCR rounds. But you can get good shots here. You can help your team out. The enemy is going to be wary. They don't like to come out over here, especially if their armor's not good. Even strong armored tanks are going to be reluctant to come out here. However, this is a position that I like to take. There's actually another position where the IS-3 is on the minimap, which is off screen, where you're going to be able to line up shots over there. So you might want to consider this position if you haven't tried it. This is me having fun. Look at tanks like to line up behind this rock, heavy tanks. You can look on the minimap and you can just climb up and dive off. I killed this tank, but unfortunately it flipped me on my side, so the enemy killed me. This is me driving on Sand River. I just got these wheeled vehicles and this tank came flying out of nowhere. He actually did hit me, but he didn't do a lot of damage. He just barely nicked me. Now in this game, I saw this tank. He would do circles. He would come around, go up this hill, jump the slope, jump the gap over here, land on the other side. However, he was causing himself damage every time he landed. Tanks were not hitting him. So it's an interesting maneuver for spotting. However, his suspension, maybe he had the stock suspension. It wasn't doing well for him. Okay, now this is on Lakeville. I've been trying a lot of different sniping positions. The good thing about this position is that you've got a solid object to hide behind. You've got lots of bushes. Here's another view. So you've got clear shots on that road. You've got bushes to hide behind. You've got a solid object over here. You can sneak away if you want to. This is a position you're going to want to consider using. The other positions, you're just going to get less opportunities. Over here, you get a lot more. This is on Siegfried Line. I'm also looking for a rock solid position over here. It used to be better, but the problem over here is if you're too close, you won't be able to hit up here. And if you're too far back, you won't be able to spot tanks. And if they're spotted, you won't be able to see them. They won't render. So there's a lot of issues with this position. And, you know, people are afraid to come over here now. Maybe in the lower tiers, you'll get a lot of shots. But this is a position that I go to at the start of the game, see what happens. If nothing happens, I go somewhere else. Just something weird. I saw this thing up in the sky. It's actually a building, but the building didn't render until I got closer. This is a hull down position on Studzianki. I don't know if it was this game, but I actually got a blind kill from this position. But over here, you see you got good coverage on the south. Again, the KV-2 is taking up a good position. I have weak armor, so I decided to play over here. I'm hull down. I've got shots on enemy tanks that show up over here in the distance. It's actually a good position to play, especially if you're a new player. Okay, so that's the sniping position videos for today. I've got around 15 other sniping position videos in my account. Of course, there's also spotting positions and SPG positions. There's a wealth of other videos in my account. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.